Okay, guys, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about the costs of everything. So, like, what I started out with, because I am quite disappointed now that I actually went in and dug up all the costs and everything that I did and found out exactly how much I spent and how much I could have saved if I just didn't do what I did. And it would have given me like months longer of travel. Literally, if I would have done this, it probably would have given me between 3 and 5 months of extra travel. That sucks because I didn't want to come back home and I ran out of money, so that's why I'm home. I could have still lived out of my van. Like, it's not because of the money, it's because of the temperature here. Where I live, it's like minus 30 right now. And so that's not something that I wanted to be living out of a van in. Yeah, let's start off with the costs, break down everything that I got into the van, and then we're gonna do a different breakdown of all the things that I should have done or should have gotten instead, and we're gonna look at the difference in the cost. You start out, well, bam, bam, it's December, and I'm trying to find a van because I wanted to get like a cargo style van and redo it all myself, scrap everything. And so I spent some time looking at decent sized vans that had the space that I want. There wasn't too many options for me actually, and so I ended up finding one for 2,200. And it's not bad for a used vehicle that's still running, or I thought it was still running. It had some issues with it. It was like dead of winter, and it was just sitting there on the guy's lot. So it had some issues starting, which was my first red flag. But I was so into it because I've been looking for vehicles forever, and it's like this one looked like the one. And so we thought it was just like a dead battery type situation. So they got it started. I ended up getting it. It passed an inspection, so that's why that was the deal. If it passes, then I would get it, and it did. 2,200 for the van. We got the van now. I get it back home, and I can't get it started again. I got a new battery for it, and I'm like, still not quite going properly. So I spend some time, trying to figure out some extra fixes. The guy, the old owner, had like a manual of everything that he's done on it, and he was checking it off as he goes. And so there were some items that were recommended to change a while back that he didn't. So like the spark plugs and valves, I changed it all myself. I changed it, brand new stuff, because they were all really dirty and gungy and they looked pretty dead. So I changed those. That was like an extra 120 and all those little parts. Did nothing to it. It didn't change anything. It still ran the exact same. We would have issues starting, and so I actually decided, let's just take it into a mechanic. The part that I needed was really hard to get, so we ordered one off Kijiji for like $200. It was the computer of the van. I forget the actual technical name, but it's like a little box that controls all the signalings and stuff like that. And so he charged like $200 for replacing it and finding out what it was. But after that, it would start up, it would run, but there were sometimes it would still have issues with the starter. So later on, I changed the starter myself for $100. It wasn't hard to do at all. That was a quick fix. So now we have the van. It's running. I can actually do some stuff with it. So we go ahead and we're gonna throw in some insulation. I got a huge amount of insulation. We did fiberglass. That was $80 for a whole pack of that, and I have extra still. So I probably didn't use it all. I probably used like $40 worth of it. And then we got Reflectix to cover off all the insulation. And I got like 2-3 rolls of like 25-foot rolls or something like that I ended up going through. So that's like $70 right there. And then we have like everything that I built inside, which is like the wooden frame, all the tape I used, the bolts, all the flooring, all the fabric that I got, like the sink. All of that came to around like $400. It's just all these little things that, they add up. So now we got everything. Everything is kind of like framed out. Everything's insulated. Now we get to some of the extra things like a bed. I bought this amazing bed from Walmart. It's just a foam bed, and I got a double for $320. It's like a 8-inch thick memory foam. and it is the comfiest damn bed I've ever had so far, so I still sleep on that to this day. I then got a stove. I got a 3-burner stove for some reason. I don't know why I went so extreme. $150. Bam, bam. Cooler. I got an electric cooler. Don't know why I got that either, because I didn't really even use the electric part of it that we've been over, and I would have rather just gotten like a longer 5-7 day ice cooler. Yeah, $180. Bam. Heater. I bought a Mr. Buddy heater. You know, I use it now and then when it got cold, but honestly, I could have used a sleeping bag. Heater, $140. Toilet. I bought a toilet because I saw some other van life people being like, just in case, you know, you never know when you need to go. So I got like a heavy duty, like fold away briefcase looking ass toilet, and it's for taking craps. Never once even took that out of the corner I put it in. I always had like Walmart and stuff that I could go to. $110, bam, right there. So the paint job I did to it, I did a cheap paint job. It was probably like around $100, but I wanted to change the look of it. I didn't like the old color scheme, because I wanted to make it a little more unique, and that's fair. I didn't need to do that. I mean, it was $100 to do it, so it wasn't really expensive to do the paint job. I just had to sand everything down, you know, thermoclad paint. But bam, I have videos on that. I guess another thing, if we want to include that, is the water jug. $10. Woo! So expensive. That was a part of the van, so I including this in the details. So the solar system, that's a little where we got a little pricey, you know. I got two thin solar panels because I didn't want them to be seen on the roof. I didn't want people knowing that I had solar panels. 2 thin solar panels cost me $640. Next, charge controller. That was $160 because I got a 20 amp one, so it's not the high end one, but it's a good one. It did what I needed it to do. Inverter. I got a pure sine wave inverter because for those, you know, those delicate electronics, you know, you got to be careful with those. $220 for that, and it was only like a 400 amp inverter, something like that. I wasn't taking much power at it. Batteries, I got 2 6-volt batteries, golf cart batteries, 235 amp hours each. So put together, that was 235 amp hours at 12 volts, which totaling came to $550 for the batteries. But bam, I went overboard. I didn't need this extreme of a setup. And the thing with the batteries, right, is because they're just batteries. They're just right? You had to vent them because they produce gas and it's explosive, and you don't want to breathe that or you'll die. Ba-bam, we're getting up there in price, right? Velcro. I use them to hold the curtains to the window. Now it's not the best because the Velcro had like it's a little thick, so there'd be gaps along the window that light could still get out in. If it's like pitch black outside and you have your lights on inside, people, if they looked hard enough, they could see if they wanted to. So $40 for Velcro. Good ass Velcro though, like don't get me wrong, like I use this Velcro because it's industrial strength and I can really stick anything to anything if I want to. Blackout curtains, probably $70 because I got like 4 packs because my van's like all windows. So I got 4 packs of blackout curtains. I don't know why. I wanted it to look nice, I guess, but in reality, probably could have just layered up garbage bags because they're still black, and then I don't know, duct tape them to the windows. Like that's what we're gonna do on the new setup if I wanted to. LEDs. I used LEDs because they were cool. They were fun. They were little knick-knack to have. Those were $40 for the LEDs. That's pretty much all I got. That's like my setup. Those are all the main things that I got for the van. That comes to a grand freaking total of $6,100. That's money right there. That's a lot of money from starting out at a van of $2,200 to $6,000, right? That's some shit. I don't know why we did that. There's my van. That's all the little knickknacks that I got. Now let's go into, because I wanted to show you exactly what I would have done, because I've talked about it, but I want to show you price and give you a little visual stimulation for you. Okay, would not have gotten a cargo van. I would have gone with the minivan. If you've seen the other videos, you're very aware that I'm pro minivan for getting started in the van life because it's simple, it's cheap, and it's not crazy to start out in. So I would have just gotten a minivan, same price. I would have started with $2,200 because, you know, that's what I did with the van, and that's a fair range to get a used vehicle. But because it's a minivan, I wouldn't be so picky with, I would make sure it was running first of all, because I would have higher expectations out of a common vehicle, because I can get that anywhere. I'm going to make sure it's working. So I'm not going to have these issues that I had starting out with on the other one. So that saves us some money there, because I would be a little more picky, make sure it actually ran. Second, I would have got the same bed. I would have obviously got the same bed. I love that bed, and I can stand by it. For me, it's very comfy. I don't know about your sleeping preferences, but for me, it did what I wanted it to do. So $320, bam. Second, stove. So I was looking. These are all brand new things I'm looking at too. These aren't used. So I would have just got a single burner stove, like a little nice one that was didn't take up too much space or anything. I just have it sitting there. That's $50 for a single burner, and a 5-day ice cooler, which in fact would hold ice longer than it did in the electric cooler. Because some days I got like 3 days out of the cooler of ice on my electric one. So a 5-day ice cooler comes around like $90. But the thing is, with the stove and the cooler, you really don't need to get a new one. Like there's no need. It's not going to change if it's used. So you can maybe check out some places, buy a used one for like half the price. Like just make sure it's not busted up and you're good. So now let's get into the solar setup, because I talked about it and I said it's not essential. It was useful. So would I still have a solar panel type setup? Actually, I think I will. But the thing is, if you've ever heard of Goal Zero, you know, they have some adventure videos out there with some popular guys, and they use their products. Now, the thing about the Goal Zero is you can buy a whole system setup for like $600, which is like a lot cheaper than the $1,500 one. Admittedly, it's not going to be as powerful as the $1,500 one that I spent on, but I didn't need that much power that I was getting out of the other one. I didn't need to go that extreme. I could have gone the Goal Zero, got like some portable solar panels that can fold up into a little case, and I can take those wherever I want to. They don't need to be permanently attached to the van. I can just throw those up on the roof when I want to use them. And that would be perfect, because when it gets cold or I want to do something else, I'm not like detaching all these solar panels and batteries. It's just I can take them right out. There's no hassle there. And then secondly, the whole battery, the inverter, the charge controller, it's like one box. It's one thing. And so it's so simple. And I believe I looked into it. You don't need to vent these batteries. I couldn't find anything on venting them, because they're like, there's no way to do it. It's one single box and it's all there. So you don't have to worry about drilling holes in your van and getting this huge box system to vent out these batteries so you don't die. You don't have to worry about that. And it has like a nice little percentage sign on it. You have all your plugins available. You got power switches. It's so compact, portable, and convenient. That's what I would have done. You know, for $600, having solar it's good. Like, it's fun stuff. If you don't have $600, then don't worry about it. But I mean, if you don't have $600, living on the road might be a little more of a hassle for you guys if you don't have any money at all. But it's a little investment that I found for my sake, because I want to make video and do photography and I enjoy watching movies. I have power. That's that. Now, if we want to get a little technical, okay, curtains, I would have gone with garbage bags and tape. Compared to going Velcro and blackout curtains for $110, which isn't necessary at all, and not having to install actual curtains, because that would might damage your vehicle by putting in screws or whatever you decide how to attach them. Garbage bag and tape, it's like reusable. You can get new garbage bags, you can get new tape. It's like $10, right? It's not a big investment. It's just, there you go. LEDs. I would have gone to the dollar store and bought like little touch LEDs that run off batteries, just to stick those to the roof. There you go. You have your lights now. You just buy like a couple of those, $5, you know, have those along the roof. There you go. Water jug. I would have got the same water jug, honestly, $10, but bam. So now that total right there, $3,285. That is a remarkable difference from building your own. That is a difference of $2,840. What are you going to do with all that money? You know what I would do with all that extra money? I would travel a lot longer. My road trip was about 2.5 months. Now, with that extra money, I wouldn't need to rush. You know, I could take my time. I could drag it out. So if we want to talk quickly about the costs of living actually in your van once everything is done, what I was spending was between $100 and $200 a month on food. I was eating very cheap. I wasn't eating out. I would buy like bulk stuff and, you know, do a lot of cheap eating. And so that's an expense there. Gas, I was trying to spend around $200 a month on gas. Basically, you can spend less, you can spend more depending on how much driving you're doing. So that one completely varies, and it also depends on how much gas is where you are. But that one's a very controllable one. You can be like, I'm not going to drive anywhere. I'm going to stay in this area for like another 2 weeks or so. And then vehicle insurance, I was paying like $175 a month, which I find is a little bit steep, but I'm a 20-year-old male, and they like to amp those up for you guys. So right there, that's about $600 a month, okay? At that price, with that extra money, that's an extra 4.7 months. So basically 5 months extra. Now, I wanted to give you a little bit of flexibility. So let's just say you throw in an extra $400 a month for just doing random activities and having fun and going to see the sights and stuff like that. That's 2.8 months. That's still like 3 months right there. So you get an extra between 3 and 5 extra months of travel, which, you know, if you're trying to get started in something like this, the more time you have to experience this kind of thing, it's way better. I'd rather have more experience than more items, you see. Yeah, that's the costs of everything that I looked over, and I'm curious to see what you guys spent on your setups and what you did if you've done this before, of course, but this is more of a guide for like the new guy that's never really done anything like this. But if you're someone that has, let me know. I'm curious. I want to see how much money you spent on your setup and how much you spend a month. But that was my setup, that was my cost. That's what I did, and it's very manageable. You save up some money, you do this, and you have the time of your life. You can go wherever you want. You can do whatever you want. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And I hope this was educational and sort of entertaining in a way. And I hope to see you guys in the future. So if you did enjoy, it does leave a huge help for you to leave a like. Because I'm a small channel, you know, I'm trying to blossom. So that it supports me. It shows that you like what you see. You like what you see. And if you hate it, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna come find you. And I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna get real personal with you because I wanna know why you're mentally unstable.